Wenger, guy's deluded, you know. I don't know why I said Wenger at the start. Maybe it's because this is in relation to it. I admire for Wenger. You guys know I admire Wenger. I got a lot of love for Wenger. Sadly, it's gonna pain me and people, and even myself included. When Wenger finally calls it a day, we're gonna rejoice, regardless for best or worse. It needs to happen. Really and truly, it needs to happen. I admire Wenger away from Arsenal and in fact with Arsenal for many reasons. He's a great manager. Obviously, I'm speaking in absolutes here. He's a great manager. He's an innovator. He's an innovator. He's all of these things that cannot be taken away from him, regardless of being poor. Hell, this poor Arsene Wenger that needs to step down as well more than certain messiahs in this Premier League. But one thing that annoys me, and in fact I admire his thing about life, and I've incorporated into mine. He says persistence is an underrated quality, and I use that with deluded. This is why when I feel like I need to give up or can't, I keep coming with the vids, and I admire that. But there comes a point you need to know when to give up, and I'm not speaking in regards to deluded. He always says these comments, if I start in the season and believe I can't win a league, then I won't start the season or I wouldn't be here. And you might genuinely believe you can win the league. Hell, I believe you genuinely believe that because you're in your own castle bubble that's being burst now. But you can't tell me you believe that when you see performances against Spurs, when you see performances away at City, when you see at home against United. 3 very different games. You could blame refs, you could say poor starts, you could say it's not starting at all. The fundament, the one fact is that you lost all of them. Big games, 2 away from home, 1 at home, lost. That's the reality of it. You can say I'm being harsh, that's the reality of it. We're not inspired. You can't. If you believe you can win the league, do you not pattern up defensively on the ball and off the ball? Do you not have a lot of players that can play systems and interchange systems in the game? Players that that can have game management. Because regardless of the performance against Spurs and how we set up, and a lot of you're to blame for the tactics, you could see, and I've said it in a previous video, you can see Son bombing down the left. Which player on that pitch is saying to someone, Son is getting down that side, let's double up, or let's for the next 10, let's just stay compact defensively, weather the storm. We don't have that. Now you could say that's Wenger not inspiring people to be smart, but I believe that's down to the players. Regardless of what a manager tells you, I as a footballer like to take blame for myself, because as a fullback, I mean, my coach Darren, he would tell me I need to tuck in, but no one needed to tell me I needed to tuck in. If I didn't tuck in and they scored, that's my fault. I hold that to blame, and I learned. I don't think our players are like that. We're not pressing together. We're pressing together once in a blue moon. Like Alexis made a habit of pressing by himself and doing that calling people thing. I personally think towards the end he started lying about that and pretending. We're not pressing. We pressed in the first game at the Emirates against Spurs. You won it. You didn't press really against them. You allowed them to ball play. What happened? You lost it. Like and also the damn right galvanization. You can't honestly tell me you believe you can win a league with players constantly letting you down and letting yourself down. After every game, you're saying we lacked efficiency in the final third. We lacked this and that in the final third. For all of Arsenal's, this is how you know you need to call it a day, because for all of Arsenal's problems defensively, all of these things over the years, we're too nice, we can just play football, all of these things. When has people ever said Arsenal cannot produce in the final third, or they're not efficient, or they're not this? When? Only the last 18 months, this year particular, right? That shows you it's coming to an end. Because when Wenger ball and all of these things, these are things that should never be said under Wenger, to be honest with you. And it has been said. We're not pressing together. We're not having fluid passes. We're not damn right taking our chances. The players are not galvanised. I believe a lot of these players need to be cut loose, and the bottlers have been cut loose. A lot of them need to be cut loose, clearly. But by the same logic, and a lot of them are not good enough, but by the same logic, I do believe a better system, a different manager with different opinions and inspiring them could have different successes for them, to be honest with you. The likes of Xhaka, Mustafi to a degree, Bellerin to a degree, Lacazette and Aubameyang exclusion to the rule just based on how he played yesterday. These lot better could they be a short change, different positions, and all of them need to look closer to home, because all of them have equally had poor games. Mustafi, I believe he was good against Spurs, but have equally been poor. But any other manager could get more out of them. You're either not inspiring them, they're not inspiring themselves, or something's happening. But ultimately, what happens on the pitch is down to you. Now, I have a lot of sympathy at the same time with Wenger, because I do believe to a degree he has been shagged historically in the last few years. And when he leaves, a lot of truths will come out. But you are to blame for everything that's on the field. You're telling these players what to do. You're telling them. And if they're doing what you're not telling them to do, you are not dropping them. You are not dropping them. Iwobi is running on mockery. And I love Iwobi. I believe Iwobi can have a future here as a squad player. But what other team is going to tolerate this much mediocre stuff and keep starting a man in big games? Look what he did today. I don't agree with DT and all of these guys saying why is he waving to people after the game on the phone and things. Yeah, that's unprofessional. But you, at the same time, you don't. God forgive me, and I hope it's not the case. But something could have happened in his personal life. Someone could have died, and he got word of it on the bench, and he might need to speak to them. So we need to be careful. If it's not that, then he deserves all the critics he gets, because Iwobi doesn't seem serious to a degree. When you hear the deeper things, he's clearly a serious individual about his career. But when you hear that he's one of the players always getting fined, he got bagged at a party, he weren't at it again when he came on the bench. This is mediocre stuff. Like, Iwobi is never gonna be like Sane and all of these guys, and there's nothing wrong with that. He can be a good player for us. But look at our 20-year-olds, excluding the 30-ones. Look at our 20-year-olds in Iwobi, and then look across the road. No, never across the road. Even look at Dele Alli, 2 different positions, but he's making a difference. Go and look at City's Sterling and Sane, difference makers. United, Rashford, fair enough, he's not having a chance. But Martial, they are. Go and look at the 28, his age mates. Iwobi really must know this. That's why he's just living. He's living. He needs to step it up, man. And a lot of these players need to step up. I don't believe in digging out individuals, and I don't believe in single-handedly blaming one person, because it's not that. And if you watch Arsenal and you love Arsenal, you can see it's not just one person. I blame people where they need to be blamed, when they needed to be blamed. There's several things wrong. The culture comes from the top up, but we cannot blame him. We can't blame Kroenke for Spurs on Saturday. Mess me up, I don't even know the scores. Wenger, you complain about money, you say all of these things that are very much true with what's wrong with the modern game, but lack of money and all of these things has nothing to do with that performance against Spurs. Are you going to tell me City spending 200 million on players has something to do with our players not tracking back and marking Kane properly? Like, really and truly, does spending 200 mil have to have anything to do with us bottling it against Watford, against Stoke, against Spurs, against City, against United, against Bournemouth, against several other mediocre sides? Does the lack of money account for our 2 or 3 wins away from home in this season? That's not a record for anyone that wants to stay in the league, much less get in the top 4, really and truly. And that pains me to say it, cause I love this club with all my heart. We hold our L, we move on, but that's the reality of it. I don't even know what I'm saying at this point, guys, so let me keep it stepping at this point. Guys, Deluded Guna, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Get in the comments, subscribe, and do the rest. Thank you very much for watching and kicking it.